All right, go ahead and get started. How many of you in here, besides the recent training that you've had from the state, any of you guys been in law enforcement? One, two. You're in security. Yeah, okay. So, anyone else been an EMT, paramedic? EMT, paramedic, first aid, medic? Anybody else? Okay. Anyone else in here had any other experience in martial arts? Any other type of personal protection training? Okay, good. A few more hands. Okay, well.
There's a few nurses in the room as well.
Yes, nurses as well. Sorry, I should have made that specific as well. When I meant paramedic, I should have went ahead and said RN and PRN and everything else that goes with it. Welcome, guys. I'm going to try to move around so I can see everybody's faces. Made copies for you guys of threat assessment, intervention, and management. If there's any questions or anything, guys, please feel free to stop me. Ask me any type of questions. If I go too fast, I apologize. I think you all understand when you do something for so long, you get caught in a rhythm, and kind of constants for you is not constants for everybody. So if there's anything you guys don't understand or need me to repeat, just please stop me, okay? This might take a little longer than what some people might have expected, but I'm going to go at your all's pace as well. I want to make sure that everybody understands it. If you start to fall asleep, we'll take a break, okay? All this stuff is highly important. All of it is relative in what you guys are doing. If you guys are willing to step up for the state and go through their curriculum to carry a handgun and to protect other people, then I think it's important, and also your responsibility to continue your education and be more efficient at doing so. It's not a game. Once bullet starts flying, you know, that's when it matters. So you'll never rise to the occasion. I'll just tell you that now. You'll never rise to the occasion. You'll default to the level of training that you received. Now, the training can be presented to you. You can take it and however you want. You can leave it, whatever. But I encourage you to pay as close attention as you can. Okay? Because later on, hopefully, Lord willing, all of you guys will still be here, and we'll be doing more force-on-force training and things like that. And then it really starts to come alive. Okay? So, you guys have any questions for me before we get started? Nothing? I'm here for you guys, so don't hesitate. Threat assessment, intervention, and management. This is for SecOp 1 as well as SecOp 2. Okay? OODA loop. Those in the law enforcement community. I'm sure you've heard of the OODA loop before. Have you heard about it? No?
Not that way, no.
You have? Okay. Terminology is going to be something that we'll have to bridge. That's in anything we go into. You're absolutely right. So again, a lot of this will probably be very, very close to stuff that you've already heard. The OODA loop is a process of threat assessment, which is observation, orientation, decision, and action. Everything in life, like it or not, security also is entitled with this, revolves around observation, orientation, decision, and action. Okay? So what is observation, or what is the OODA loop? First thing we want to look at is observation. This is the first thing you have to go through regardless of what you do. I don't know what particular position you hold with the security group here at the Avenue Church. I don't know if there's fixed positions, mobile positions, and stuff like that. But your main objective is to spot the absence of the normal in the presence of the abnormal. Okay? Good luck. Especially when the lights are turned down low, all the strobes are going, music's up loud, and everything else. Okay, good luck with that. You guys, I know some people in here who have been the eyes in the sky for quite some time and watching the monitors and things like that. Communication amongst the team is something that we'll also be discussing, verbal as well as nonverbal. Okay, I'd like to see some type of lighting used to where you as security operators know exactly what the lighting means and no one else does. That's one of the most important things I like to see in communication here. But the absence of the normal and the presence of the abnormal. One of your all's responsibilities as operators is to get to know how typical humans react. Are they practicing some sort of deceit? Okay. What else is not normal with the way the individual's acting? Do they have shifty eyes? Are they swaying without music? You just don't know. And I'm sorry, guys, the parameters are so broad that you just can't localize and say, you know what, there's something wrong with that guy. Well, what could be wrong with the individual is so broad that we all have suffered from waking up in the morning and not being at our best. Yeah? Okay? Some people will take medications to help with anxieties, depressions, and everything else. I don't know about you guys, but since COVID, those are on the rise. So if people simply forget their meds, they're not the same person. You guys have to take all this stuff into consideration. The way they move toward the front. Okay? There's so many things that come with observation that we'll talk more into it as it goes on. But this is also part of your intel gathering. So another thing is once you have spot the absence of the normal and the presence of the abnormal, next you have to look at orientation. Not only the orientation of the adversary in relation to the principal. Okay, you guys know what a principal is? A principal could be a pastor. That's the main principal. That's your main client as operators. But it's, I wish it was that simple, but it's the whole flock. It's every brother and sister and child inside the congregation. Okay, so part of your observation is also, I'm going to encourage you guys as training goes along, do not get fixated. Don't get target fixated. Have a few operators, if you spot the absence of the normal, the presence of the abnormal, have a few operators monitor them, but everyone else needs to stay in their sectors. Stay in your sectors in your area of responsibility. Because you don't know, that could be a decoy, that could be someone else doing something else while everything else is going on somewhere else. Do not leave your area of responsibility. That's so important. Okay? We'll talk about standard operating procedures a little more as they come together. But orientate yourself for success. That's the other one. Observation, orientate. Orientate your position for success. Okay? But do it softly and low profile. You know what low profile means, right? Low profile means do not show any other mannerisms than normal. Okay? When I move and I'm looking at somebody, this is not normal. Okay? He knows I'm looking at him. This is not a normal thing. Do it soft wire. Soft wire, which is slow and easy, but also low profile. I mean, it looks like you're just praising too. Okay? Something in the personal protection industry, in law enforcement, I'm sure it's the same. You have something that's called your workspace. My hands are in my workspace. Your workspace is everywhere, anywhere from your belt to your shoulders. Anything you do as an operator, you're going to maneuver in this space. If it be working a jam, working somebody's hands, working seasoning, controlling, but it's also there to protect your vital organs. Okay? We'll talk about reactionary gap in time coming soon. But you can sit there and act like you're praising as well. But please understand there's a time and a place for everything, right? When you're on the clock and you're part of the Avenue Protective Services detail, your job is just that. If you wanted to praise and worship, come to the service before it, stay for the service after. You can even enjoy the service while you're on duty, but you keep your eyes and your ears open. You keep your hands here if you want to worship. God knows the intentions of your heart. Yeah? Your primary purpose is to protect the flock. Period. Okay? Observation, orientate. Orientate yourself for success. If there is somebody that's coming up that is suspicious and you're part of the mobile team, or maybe you're close here to a stationary position, there has to be communication to let you guys know what is going on. And if you have to get up from your stationary position as they're coming down the hallway, stay here and praise. Praise Him. Okay? Look this way. That's fine. I don't think anyone's going to notice this. Okay? But you're also there to intervene if necessary. So orientate yourself for success. Observation, orientation, decision. Decision, fight, flight, or stay. Guys, flight is an option. Okay? Flight is an option. So, fight, flight, or stay. In the executive protection world, a lot of times if you're not going to be the part of the detail that's going to cover the individual up in flight, guess what you had to do? You had to stay. Yeah, you have to stay. You guys understand your role as a private protective operator. You are standing up in front and you're willing to lay down your life for somebody else if it comes down to it. Everyone can shake their head and everything else. Guys, I'm telling you something, stress is coming. Part of our training, the stress inoculation drills and stuff like that, that's coming. And you will fail. You will fail. I'm telling you right now. But it's okay. Who hasn't? Who hasn't failed? Guys, I've been doing this for quite some time. I still get shot. I still get stabbed. I still get hit. You know what? Thank the Lord it's here with you guys, where I can stop, sit back, analyze what in the world went wrong, and fix it. We're here as a family, not only as fellow brothers and sisters of Christ, but we're also here as iron sharpens iron in the Spirit. So does it in so many other aspects. Okay? We're here to become stronger together. If you have, again, anything, any question, concerns, who better to ask than those who love you and willing to stand side by side? No better person to ask. And if you're in here for any other purpose, please leave. Okay? Please. This is not something to play with. This is not a joke. This is not a club. This is not something to feel like I work in security, got those little funny earpieces, and I get to hit somebody. This is not John Wick, okay? This is not Hollywood. So I'm going to ask you to de-Hollywoodize. De-Hollywoodize for me. This is very serious. Okay? De-Hollywoodize for us. So, fight, flight, or stay. From the information that you have collected during the observation process, you have to make a decision on what you're going to do. Are you going to engage, escape the situation, or what? But whatever you do choose, guys, please do it with full resolve. The only true enemy you have is yourself. I like what one person said about fear. Fear is a choice. A lot of people fear things that never even happen. Let's focus on the now. Let's work on what's on hand right now. Okay? Do not get caught up in what ifs. This could happen. If you do that, as an operator, you're going to be your worst enemy. You're going to fall in line to where, when it comes down to move, you may go into a freezing or a paralysis state where fear completely consumes you and you can't move. Okay? Guys, one thing I loved about the martial arts, I started back in '84. I started back in '84. One thing I loved about the martial arts, and I always questioned people why they bowed when they went into a dojo or a dojang or whatever, Oriental type of training you did. And it made known to me that the reason they bow is not a religious thing. What it is shows the ultimate respect for a sanctuary in where they surrendered their fears. They faced their fears. And they had a tremendous respect for that practice area. Because that's where they win, they face their fears. You know what the #1 universal phobia is internationally? Not snakes, not bats. Virus? No. They said that the #1 leading phobia is human aggression. If you like human aggression, what some of us do, there's a time and a place for everything, don't get me wrong. But there are some people who are not afraid of it at all, psychopaths and things like that. But #1 phobia internationally is human aggression. one thing you're going to be facing here is going to be human aggression. Okay? We're going to be looking at you. We're going to get a little mouthy. We're going to post up on you. We're going to try to get into your head, and we're going to try to wreak havoc on your sympathetic nervous system. It's our job. We don't want you to be relaxed. We don't want you to be like in a dojo, in a karate place or whatever, and you're feeling like you're all right, I'm good. But then when someone steps up to you being all Brody and speaking not so Christian-like words to you, getting into your personal space, maybe have 2 or more with them or her, weapons are starting to be involved, you're going to find that your sympathetic nervous system is going to wreak havoc, which is also called survival stress. You can go from a normal heart rate from a normal 40 to, 80 beats a minute to about 220 beats a minute in about a second and not even know it. At 220 beats a minute, guys, I've had anxiety before, and I felt crappy at 170. At 170 beats a minute. So when you're talking about 220 beats a minute, guys, you're defecating in your pants. You're urinating on yourself. You're suffering from paralysis. You're going through vasoconstriction. So if you ever have dabbled with hypothermia, you understand a little bit about vasoconstriction. A lot of things that normally move in normal functions, and normal functions in normal situations just don't work. That's what we're here to also fight. Because confidence, tactical breathing, all that is part of the remedy to help fight survival stress. Without that confidence and without that breathing and controlling your heart rate, you're just out in the wind. Okay? You don't need that for yourself or for your teammates. The next is action. So we have observation, orientation, decision, and action. Action. Now you're in it. It's code red. It's go time. This is where your fight or flight. Whatever you decide, commit completely to your decision. Okay? If you have to go in, go all in. It'll be best for everybody if you don't make that decision. If you don't know what to do, then you better get somebody to step up. Okay? And let me tell you something. If you don't step up during a situation, there's nothing wrong with you. I want to tell you that right now. I've seen some of the best operators fall apart. We all have bad days. Might as well go ahead and nail that to the cross right now. You're here to do the best you can when you can. When you can't, be man and woman enough to step up and let someone know in your team you might have to take point. Okay? Be truthful, be honest with yourself, be honest with the team. The OODA loop is so important because we'll go ahead and talk about a typical standard traffic stop. All right? Cop pulls somebody over. All right? The OODA loop's already in process. The problem is who's in first? Who's the number one guy or lady in the OODA loop? They're the ones who are going to be most likely victorious because everyone else has to what? Catch up. So they pull this car over, and inside the car there's a guy who is not going to go back to jail. There's no conversation. He's not going back. Period. Cop is approaching. So the cop is observing the individual inside the vehicle. Well, the guy in the vehicle already observed what side the cop's coming on. He already made what? He orientated his position. He already orientated where the gun's going to be in his car. He already made a decision. The law enforcement guy's still catching up. He's coming alongside of the vehicle, looking inside. Nothing strange, no adverse movements or anything, okay? And as soon as he gets up there, guess what? The guy's already in action. Boom, boom, boom. The guy retreats to the known safe place. The law enforcement knows that his cruiser is his safe place. That's where his other weapon systems are. That's where other communications are. Maybe that's where his K9 is. I don't know. But they always retreat back to where they know is safe. But guys, the OODA loop cycle is so important for you guys to understand. Stay ahead. Everyone's like, well, no one could have predicted that. Well, then keep your eyes open. A lot of law enforcement officers love watching people. They love watching people. Sometimes it's comical. But they got to learn what's normal, what isn't. Now, there's a big question, right? What's normal these days? Can anyone tell me that? I'm lost. I am. I'm kind of lost, but I don't care if it's a new normal. Guys, you got to find what is normal the best you can. Okay? You have to stay vigilant. You got to keep your head on a swivel. So we talked about the OODA loop. Guys, who knows what situational awareness is? Everybody knows what that is, right? Situational awareness. Everyone talks about it. Who in here understands what atmospherics is? Complete atmospherics.
It's a lot of things, including situational awareness.
That's exactly right. Situational awareness is just the tip of the iceberg. You as operators want to have complete control over atmospherics, not just situational awareness. You want complete control of atmospherics. Situational awareness is definitely one of them. As you can see on your paper, there's 7 elements to it. To control your atmospherics, there are 7 elements. Situational awareness is 1. Guys, 2, training. Here we are. This is another part of it. This is a key part. Okay? What's the next one? There's a few people. Environmental knowledge. You know where you're sitting right now? Have you guys looked at the blueprints? You guys know or have any idea of escape routes? We're going to dig deep into SOPs. And repetition, 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 repetition. You know why people go to the sound of the guns?
Trying to.
Thank you. It's a new intuitive response. Because your natural intuitive response is definitely not doing that. Your natural intuitive response is you're getting out of Dodge. You know how much training you have to do to get your new intuitive response into gear and do opposite of what every fiber in your being is telling you not to do? You will. I want to give you a little taste of it as we go further into training. Environmental knowledge is a huge part, guys. Huge. Know your area of operations. Know your part in the teams. Medics. All right, I've worked with combat medics, with special forces and stuff like that. Guys, that's another reason why I teach basic medic training in all my security. All of it. Do you not think there might be bloodshed? You might not think someone's going to get hurt? Why wouldn't you want to have this knowledge? Because let me tell you something. You'll use your medic training 10,000 times more than you'll ever have to pull your weapon system, or punch somebody in the face, or take somebody down. I know some people are disappointed. I was too. I'm telling you something, guys. The majority of what you do is about 99% sheer boredom. 99% sheer. Why did I sign up for this? But 99% of it's going to be sheer boredom, where 1% is going to be sheer terror. 1%. And that's what we're training for. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the training as it starts to unfold to you, because that's what kept me going. Because it reminded me why I got into it. If you don't get up off the couch and you don't practice your skills, you think they're going to be there when you need them, pray to God they are, but I've seen a lot of times they're not. Okay, that's why we're here. Don't forget why you started. Okay, I'll do the best I can to help you along with that. So the next is experience. Number 4, experience comes in 2 ways, good and bad. I've seen both. A lot of people have, I've been in special forces, I've been da-da-da. You know what, I'm looking at it, I was like, you know what, thank you very much for your service. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for the country. But with all due respect, I don't care about what you did. I care about what you're going to do now. That kind of shakes him up a bit. Because if you say you're as good as you say you are, then we have nothing to worry about. We're going to have a good time. Let's run the guns. But you know what? Guys, we're human. It's a perishable skill. If you don't get it out and work it, you're going to lose it. And when supersonic projectiles start flying, you're responsible for everything that thing touches. Ask local law enforcement. Ask law enforcement around the world Ask them nationally what they're going through. I've reached out to multiple law enforcement agencies. I'm not going to get into that. But guys, you are ultimately responsible. I just taught a private lesson yesterday, a private course, the Intermediate Firearm Handling and Tactics course. The guy missed 8 times, but of course I had what I call a telescopical moving target. I was the one in charge of where that target went. He killed 8 people. Not good enough. Yeah, I get a little anal when I get out there. I don't like patterns this big. I like patterns that big. You can do it too. You can do it. Every one of you guys can. How often you get out and shoot? Not as enough as you want. Guys, I'm going to encourage everyone in here to get a 22. Get a 22. Handgun. You can plink all day, and it won't make your pocketbook go light. I'm telling you. You even have plenty of time to work on malfunctions. There we go. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. There you go. Because 22s are not always the best type of cartridge to be shooting. But it helps you with your stoppages. You know, tap, rack, and roll that thing. Look, assess. Oh, shoot, get that magazine out. Get it out, get it out. Ah! Okay? Have fun with it, but get 22s. Interaction and feedback. This is where it is. Just because I'm the idiot up here in front doesn't mean I know it all. Talk with me. I will learn as much from you as you will learn from me. I guarantee you. Especially when we start running and we start doing more activities and things like that. You're going to say, hey, Brian, what about this? And I'm going to be like, show me again. And I'll be like, that's a heck of a lot more efficient than what I was thinking. Okay? Keep your mind open. Just because I'm up here doesn't mean what you're doing or whatever, it could be spot on. I want to build your confidence. We'll work off of each other. Medics, nurses, and things like that, I'm definitely looking forward to getting with you guys more. There's a lot I still need to know. I know basic. But I might come to you guys and look at doing some more realistic type of training. Now, right now I have mannequins that interact with spurting blood and everything else. Okay? Yeah, it's going to get messy. Why do I have to wear a mask? Well, blood went in your eye. You know what that means? Okay? So, next is intelligence. And the next is observation. I apologize about my phone. I'll turn that off right now. So, intelligence. What you guys don't know will kill you. What you don't know can kill you, okay? That's another part of the observation, orientation, decision, and action. Okay? One thing I wanted to talk about, experience, again. Who in here knows Lieutenant Colonel Grossman? Okay. One of the guys who's going to come with me one night, he actually worked for Lieutenant Colonel Grossman. He also was a lieutenant with the police department over in Pigeon Forge. One thing that Lieutenant Colonel Grossman said, and this guy was in Special Forces. This guy also was a psychiatrist and stuff, and one of the leading guys that the government goes to when mass casualty events happen. He says that now there is pre-battle hardened veterans. Did you hear what I just said? Pre-battle hardened veterans. Training has gotten so realistic, and I've seen it, because I've been partaking in it for quite some time, that people suffer anxiety attacks. That is so realistic. Okay? Pre-battle hardened. That means the training needs to be so realistic that when stuff goes down, you operate just as good as a veteran. You can agree with that, you can disagree with it. I'm sure Lieutenant Colonel Grossman has done his worth in studies. Okay, if you don't know who that is, look him up. So, we talked about experience, interaction, and feedback. Intelligence, observation. I'm not going to touch so much on observation because that was part of the OODA loop. Or the presence, yes, presence of the abnormal, absence of the normal. So we'll go ahead and get into threats. How many of you guys have seen a threat before or thought you've seen a threat? Turned out to be nothing. Okay, maybe someone was following you. I don't know. That's called a perceived threat. You'll have a lot of those in your duties. All right, somebody might be doing something weird. Okay, you think that's the absence of the normal. Talk to one of your superiors or one of the guys who's head of that area or your sector or one of your teammates on the mobile team and say, hey, what's up with this guy? Okay, but you cannot base everything and do the same type of actions against a perceived threat as you would a known threat. That's where your mannerisms come in. That's where your verbal judo comes in. That's where your sense of humor comes in to play. You got to be good at this art. You have to be. You got to be good at it. Bedside manners, right? RNs? That's something else. You have to. It's an art. Because a lot of times you probably want to smack them in the face and take this thing out of there. Let me rip this out real quick. Give you a little bit of shock. And let me inject this. Oh, we were having a good conversation. He fell asleep. This is terrible. It's an art. It's the same thing you got to have when you approach somebody that you think might have issues with the ongoings of your praise and worship. Okay? Be intelligent. Be smart about it. Okay? Although we would like just to walk up to them and just slap the far out of them. Praise Jesus! So you got known threats. The known threat is one that is identified by the way the threat has shown or have done something violent or offensive toward you or other people around you. Okay? Perceived threat is one that is identified by a person's perception. Thank you very much. There's an idea. That's the right word, wasn't it?
Yes.
Perception. Couldn't time that better. Which may or may not be accurate. Let's talk about the court of law. We're going to get into the legal aspect of conflict, and you want to talk about something that, what? By reasonable persons, it has to be objective and not subjective. Subjectively speaking, what? That's going to be a lot of fun. Once you've identified the actual threat, do the following. Know as much as possible about the threat. What is he or she wearing? Or is there more than one? Have they identified themselves before, if you have approached them previously? Are they part of a hate group? You got to have intel. Remember what I talked about when it comes to atmospherics. What you don't know can kill you. It's intelligence gathering. Create profiles. Profiling's bad. No, it's not. Not in security. Profiling can save your life. Just letting you know. Now, once you do the initial profiling, that doesn't mean it turns out the way you initially profiled. That initial profile gets you on track of what? Doodaloo. Gaining intel. And hopefully, your profiling was wrong. But guys, you just can't jump into action just off of a profile. Know as much as you can about the threat. How vulnerable are you? That's huge. How vulnerable are you? Not just physically. How are you clicking up here today? Are you here? I've had to say that a lot, even in training. I mean, this guy is not acting at all, and you grab on. Hey, you here? Because when you're here with your brothers and sisters, it's not about you so much as it is about them. It's the guy and the lady next to you. That's what it's all about. And if you just focus on that, guys, you're going to do great things. You guys are now the ultimate servants. Okay? There's no greater person than he or she that is willing to lay down their life, right? Yes. What countermeasures can be taken to handle your vulnerabilities? How many vulnerabilities you guys right now? How long have you guys been on the security detail? Give me some numbers.
3 years.
3 years. 2 years. 2 years.
8 months.
8 months, year and a half. A year. Okay, good. 5 years. 4 hours. Hey, that's the one I was wanting to hear. Welcome. Now, where are your vulnerabilities at? How good are your all's training? How good is your training? How good are your all's training?
What do you mean?
Tell me how good your training is.
What?
I don't care. Tell me. What are we here for?
Learn to do that.
How good is your training in security?
Minimal.
Minimal. Come on, guys. I'm speaking to you. It's okay. That's how we stay interactive. Huh?
Just gun training,
Just gun training.
pretty much.
Very basic, beyond lower than basic.
Hand to hand?
Yeah.
I know a few of you guys.
Yeah.
I know a few of you guys. Some of you guys have snuck in and popped me a few times. Some of you guys have really bad rug burn knees. I love you, James. Oh, you brought your gi pants. It ain't happening again.
We know how to block, blade, and evade.
Okay, we'll see.
Remember she said that.
Guys, who in here understands the difference of knowing and doing?
That's it. I said no.
That's it. Come on up here. Show what you were talking about. Come here. Come here.
I get broken in my mouth, right?
Yep. What do you got, Jackie? What do you got?
I love volunteers. I love Tennessee. Okay, so at the end of this class, we're going to start getting into defensive tactics and drills. And there are basic fundamentals, platforms of how you move your body, reactionary gap in time, conflict zones, and everything else. And a part of the basic foundation of defense is blade, evade, deflect, and block. Blade, evade, deflect, and block. What is the best way to avoid an attack?
Don't get hit.
Don't be there! Don't be there! Blade, evade, deflect, and block. Guys, a static target will be a dead target.
Yes.
Do you hear me? A static target will be a dead target. So, you know with blade, evade, deflect, and block, right?
I know it.
You know the interview positions?
Yeah.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Confidence. All right, so we have different interview positions, guys, due to threat level, right? So, so, guys, blade, evade, deflect, and block. And threat levels, we have condition. We have. This is good. This is a splash zone, by the way. So, the thing is about threat levels. Condition yellow is alert but relaxed. You guys should always be in condition yellow when you're out and about, even while you're hearing your praise and worship. Alert but relaxed. You know the difference between paranoid and aware is? The world is where right now?
Paranoid.
Okay. Why? Education. Education. Knowledge. Experience. Okay? So the difference between paranoid and aware is training and education. Okay, so condition yellow, we have an interview position where our strong side is always stepped back and our shoulders are always square. Martial artists, I hate to break it to you, you know, once upon a time, this was, you know, that was the thing. But when a supersonic projectile goes through here and out here, your survivability rate kind of goes down. It's another reason why we always train this way. Everything we do, we train this way. Why? One side mirrors the other. There's a balance. What also helps you with what's called natural zero. You no longer have to have your sight picture. You can just turn, and you're orientated, and you can take a shot. It's going to be amazing stuff. But also, even if we don't have plate carriers or soft armor, pop, 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 boom, one lung, you still have another. Okay? Now, we will get into different types of shooting positions and everything. John Wicket. Because it's called totality of circumstances. We're not always going to be out, but you might have a, what? Cover.
Cover.
Or concealment, we'll talk about the difference. Okay? That will change your shooting position. So condition yellow is alert but relaxed. Condition orange is alert specific. Beep, beep, beep. Spotted the absence of the normal, presence of the abnormal. So since the threat atmosphere has gone up, what do your hands do?
Go up.
Go up. Higher into your workspace. Crack your knuckles. Don't do this. But talk to people with your hands. Law enforcement, you understand. It helps with your reactionary time. Your hands are ready to engage. If you have to block or whatever. Okay? This is condition orange. Condition red now is when you're now direct action. You're intervening. You're in the fight. Okay? So she's going to take interview condition. Give me my gun back. She's going to take the interview condition orange. Okay? Stand right there for me. Orange. She's already red. She sees a gun, guys. She sees a gun. She's going, so that's good. I got to give her applause for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Better?
Better.
Okay, so blade evade, deflect, and block. Right? So the blade means is you just simply turn your body. Okay? You don't move your feet. You blade. You can lean however you want, but you're doing the matrix. Okay? That's pretty much it. All right? Evade. Blade and evade. So not only are you going to blade, but now you're going to evade. We'll talk about the combat compass here shortly. But you're going to step off, which is going to increase the gap or increase your safe zone. Okay? Deflect is you're going to parry. Some martial artists know what parrying is. It's like you're swatting a fly or a gnat. That's all you're doing. And then the last is block. I don't care so much about the block as I care about you not being there. I hate to tell you that. That's why block's the last. Okay? Move. You ready?
Ready.
You spotted something out of the normal.
You're acting for me.
Absolutely. She spotted it right out of the gate. I'll work on that. All right, here we go. All right? Now, I can't wait till I put blanks in these. It's amazing what the sound of a gun does, how it interrupts your movement. But the main thing is you get out of the line of sight or the line of fire right there. Blade and evade and deflect. Now, your hands should never be down here.
No, they should.
Their hands should always be in your workspace. Okay? So that was just and thank you very much. I didn't get to shoot you. But that was just an example of what we're going to be going through coming up at the end of the class. So, how vulnerable are you? I was talking about your training. We're going to sometimes come at you pretty quickly. But guys, please understand, any type of training, you got to go through a soft wire to a hard wire process. Soft wire means very slow, meticulous. Remember, who've heard the thing, I think it was on American Sniper, where it says slow is smooth, smooth is fast? Have you all heard that before in shooting? One of my special operator counter-terrorist guys came up to me and says, "Brian, sorry, bud, slow is slow." Slow is slow. I don't deal with that. And I was like, brother, you need to step back and understand the concept of what they're saying here. If you do anything that's worth anything, you better start doing it slow. If you just draw, I guarantee you it's going to look like that you're going to some type of recreational benefit or something, where people are fishing and people are bowling with their guns. They're just pulling their weapon systems out, walking around like this, like nothing's going on. And when it's time to aim and stuff, they're down here and they're bowling and they're fishing. I don't teach recreational stuff. I teach that when you pull your weapon system out, you only pulled it out for one reason. And that's to take out and destroy what you're about to shoot. Why isn't your muzzle always orientated to it? From the get-go. From the get-go. If it is not going through our 4-count draw, it best be at low ready compressed. All right? Or back in the holster. Or it doesn't need to be out. You all have to get into that handling type of mindset. If it's out of your holster, it better be close and tight and hugging it and precious, or it needs to be in your holster and that's it. It doesn't need to be out lollygagging in the air. It doesn't need to be out here, you know. Guys, I've seen military operators do that. You know, we were on the shooting line. I was with some Marines. Of course, the guy who did it was from the Army. I ain't going to hold nothing against him. What was that? What happened? Someone said, hey, stone him! But no, he's standing there, guys, and he's taking his shots, and all of a sudden he's like, hey, so how do you... Of course, I was with another guy, okay? Gunny was in charge of him. I'm blaming on Gunny. But I had some Marines behind me, and I'm showing this one guy on the firing line. All of a sudden, I hear a Marine from behind, muzzle, muzzle, muzzle! I turned around and looked real quick. The guy from the Army was like, hey, guys, you see that? It happens. It's amazing when people get so excited about the atmosphere that they completely lose what they're supposed to be doing. My guy yesterday got slide bite. Who knows what slide bite is? You know what slide bite is? The slide actually, you know, the firing cycle comes back and cuts your hand. You know why? He didn't do what his all-knowing instructor told him to do. Thank you. No one said anything. I loved it. That's great. Yeah. You know, he was working on his single hand unsupported, or strong hand unsupported shooting. I had my mobile targeting system. But guess what I do with that from time to time? I push you. You're sitting there, oh, and I'm like, boom, I'm pushing, I move you toward the target because the target now is running. And as you're making your way toward that target, trying to get some good groupings, I stop and I pull back, and you don't even know where I've gone, but you see the target going like this, right into your face. And instead of him going back to the 3 position and then the 2 position, he's here, and all of a sudden he tries to put his other hand down here to take a hold of his gun while he is pulling the trigger, and I see him go. And I was just like, yeah, do what you're told. Afterwards, we had an after-action review, broke down what all happened, and he's just like, man, when the stress is going on, it's... I was like, man, this is why we do what we do. This is why we do what we do. So how vulnerable are you? Guys, let's train. Guys, I'm also here not only for your physical fitness, but your psychological fitness and for your spiritual fitness. And for every fitness, you have to be, every day. Who in here are warriors? Every one of you should be raising your hand. Every one of you, if you're willing to pick up the weapon, if it be CCW, if it be for protective services, you are a warrior. And don't think for a second you can't be a psychological casualty. Don't think for a second you can't be a spiritual casualty. Physical casualties is a given. What you do physically will be echoes of what you are doing psychologically. And what you're doing psychologically are going to be echoes of what you are spiritually. Why do you think the Lord himself says, be a good soldier of Christ? Why do you think he uses the analogy of putting on the armor of God? Do you not think this is a war? Every day you get up? I know people don't like looking at that, like that. We all want to believe in fairy tales. We all want to believe in the good times. Guys, they are existent just as much as the evil is existent. But how you operate in these realms is either going to promote them to greatness or it's going to be an atmosphere of toxic death. Okay? Now, I'm here for every step of the way. That's why I'm here and not on my couch. Okay? I'm not blowing smoke up your rear end. I've taken calls at 1 o'clock in the morning by soldiers, by law enforcement, even by EMS personnel. Guys, if you don't have someone to lean on, this is going to suck. This is going to suck. Okay, so I want to let you guys know that I am here. So are your leaders, and so are. Look to the left and right. That's why we're here. We're all here for each other. Stop it. You two. I separate you two. All right, so what countermeasures are you taking to handle these vulnerabilities? Well, guys, this is a step. This is a part of it. Okay? So now we're going to look at a threat model. Someone, I turned my phone off. Let me keep track of time as well. What time we got? 4:30. 4:30. We're an hour in. Okay, so I'm probably going to take about 15 more minutes. If you guys wouldn't mind, stop me at about 15 more minutes, and then we got to get up and start punching each other. That's going to be fun. Who has a problem with each other? Can one of you guys? I know you two do. You guys are definitely going to be teamed up together. If you actually have an issue with somebody in here, I'm going to let you duke it out.
Me and Jackie.
Oh, I already knew that.
Yeah, you already knew
You
that.
better keep them separated. Okay. But that time's coming. I guarantee you. I bet your kid's like, praise Jesus.
Thank you.
I'm not going to be.
Jesus.
You guys in law enforcement, you guys know he's giving me permission. This is not domestic violence. I swear. All right, so let's try to get past a threat model. Who knows what a threat model is? All you trained individuals. So what is a threat model? Those who actually have listened to me a little bit. What is a threat model?
Something out of the ordinary.
I can't hear you.
Something out of the ordinary.
That is a part of it, yes, absolutely. A threat model. ID probable attackers. One of the topics that we have in reality-based tactical is what we call the threat. It's where we sit down and we look at different threats. Troubled youth in gangs, stalkers, pedophiles, murderers, thieves. What made these individuals who they are? What characteristics do they have? What weapons do they use? Part of threat models also is we look at the area in which we operate in. What type of threats are you going to be dealing with? You guys are going through somewhat of a threat right now to your church. Okay? That is a type of threat. Crowds, nice and dorsal and everything else, being nice and tame, but all it takes is one agitator, and now it's a mob. It's a stampede. Your job also is to know the threats. Now, so much is not yours as much as the leaders as to be able to get with you and give you simple briefings. I love to see you guys have after-action reviews. After something goes down or after you've done something in the workplace, let them know. Let the group who's leaving know. Give a turnover or something about what you've seen. Or what could happen. Does everyone know about the masks? No? Okay. So, just information is vital. What you don't know can hurt you as a team. You all should be one mind, move as one unit. Do you understand that? If there's any questions you guys might have, you have to take it to the leaders. You have to. It's your life too, guys. Right? Do you not want the best? Do you not want to be the best you can? I mean, golly. That thing on your side, it's not a toy. Okay? So, a threat model. ID probable attackers. Define important characteristics typical for those type of attackers in a set environment. Look at tactics. Look at weapons. All right? If there was a bombing at an abortion clinic, guess what? And they ask a protective detail to protect their property. You know what we're going to do? We're going to investigate what happened with that other bombing. What calls they received. Male or female? Where was the bomb? What type of bomb? How long did they give you? Was there any warning signs? Say, guys, this is something, I'm sorry. If you want to be part of a protective details, this is some of the questions you have to ask because that is what's going to save your rear end. Now, please understand, what I'm going to be teaching you doesn't only affect you in the walls and confinement of this building, it's going to affect you when you're outside of this wall, of these walls, when you're out and about in public. Especially when we run out of toilet paper, amen? Yeah, we'll talk about risk and crisis management and survival here in a little bit. Okay, so know the tactics, weapons, and techniques. You have to. Okay? Have good turnovers. If you guys knew somebody who worked the shift before or the service before, grab them as they're heading out. Hey, is there anything I need to know as I'm stepping in? Yeah, we just had a few issues. You know, some guy was kind of a spook outside in the front foyer wearing a trench coat in 100-degree weather. And so I don't know what type of Western he saw last night, but man, it was really getting in him. Exactly right. So it's just stuff like that, guys. Be courteous to one another. Think of one another while you're in here. Data collecting. Data collecting, you have to look at physical features, transportation, analysis of vulnerabilities, personal and environmental. What in this room can hurt you? Structural-wise, layout-wise, lighting-wise. Amen. Come on. That's exactly what you need to bring to meetings. If you all want to ever have meetings and come and congregate together, these are the things that you are defending, so you need to know part of atmospherics is environmental knowledge. See how it all starts to come together. Analysis of vulnerabilities. Not only your spiritual, psychological, and physical, but also your physical conditions here. If there was an active shooter, that should happen. Who's taking point? Well, I think that has something to do with proximity. Okay? A little bit. Again, this is what training is so important. So important. You got to trust those to the left and to the right. Consensualize the strategy and its functions. What strategy am I talking about? Well, what crisis are we talking about? Don't worry, we have plenty of toilet paper in the back room. It might be funny, but we're still right. It's still part of it. Well, if someone comes in this way, we have at least 5 operators, 2, 3, 4, 1 in the back. I don't know, I'm just saying. I don't know, but I'm just looking at the aisle. That'll be a good number. Any of them can intervene. Are they in the hallway or are they in the middle of the seats? Well, they're along the hallway. Why? Well, efficiency. Okay. This is stuff you need to talk about as you build your SOPs. Establish objectives. Huge, guys. Establish objectives. What is your objective coming here tonight? To learn. To get up and punch your wife or your husband. Could you help me watch these two tonight? Ken's been waiting. Don't tell her that. You know you've been calling me.
I've been calling you too, so that works.
So you guys, let's accomplish our objectives tonight. Anytime that we're training and stuff like that, do not hesitate. I will get on your nerves. That's my job. You didn't use your combat compass right, you need to step a little more. When you step a little more, don't bring your feet together, you're kind of wobbly. I'll be constant, guys. I get on my own nerves. Okay? But believe me, it's not personal. Where are we at in time? Jason? 1:35? 4:35. I was about to say, my gosh, time's running backwards. Say again? 10 minutes. Okay, so when you see a situation, collect as much information as you can and report the information. If it be reported to authorities who are coming in, or if it's reported to your teammates or your team leaders. You guys have to communicate. Communication is vital. Vital. Okay? How you communicate is something else that we'll have to talk about. If it's over radio communications, what frequencies? If as the threat level goes up, do you swap frequencies? Who has the authority to be on the most top frequency? Do you have a way to communicate, as I said, with light systems? Do you have a way to communicate with some type of colored box or some kind of type of shape up on the PowerPoint that lets the individuals know? You got 3 PowerPoints here. You have about 4 different sectors here in the auditorium. How can you use the screen to signify what part of the auditorium that you're talking about? There's so many things that could be looked upon. So many things, and it is so vital, because time is life. Time is life. The body is resilient. Life is precious and very fragile. So again, guys, look at physical features: hair color, eye color, facial features, posture, body markings, type of clothing. Look at different types of transportation. Those of you who are taking responsibility in your area of responsibility is the parking lot. Notice certain things about the way they're driving. How many times did they pass through and skipped? I've been here a few times. You guys have really good flow with the parking. Okay? So that's great. You can see a little bit of the absence of the normal, presence of the abnormal. Well, license plate numbers and state, make and model, condition and color of the vehicle. All this is important. Okay? Analysis of vulnerabilities, guys. This is a huge one. Here we are again. You got to look at yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror. Where is the adversary or adversaries? Where are they? Location, location. How many are there? Are there any weapons involved? Where are your closest exits? Is the area well lit? Are there any natural obstacles, guys? This takes a lot of heat here. A lot of people don't take into consideration curbs, chairs, steps. All this stuff can hurt you in an operation, especially in low light operations. Okay, this is also a part of your environmental knowledge. You guys got to know it. Even if you get those tacky photoalescent, strips and maybe put them on the edge of the stairs, it could be a part of your theatrics. They glow at night, they glow, woo! But I don't care. But it's something you can actually see if you have to move quick in low light. Time is life. Tick-tock. Okay? Can I handle the situation and am I ready? Those are really important. Again, as I said, if you don't come and you're not 100%, let your buddy know. Have his back or her back, but let him know. Okay? I want to go ahead and stop there before we get any further, and we can get up. Let's have a break real quick, get something to drink, stretch your legs, and then we'll come back and start punching each other and have a good time. That's the foundation of everything we do when it comes to hand-to-hand, edge weapons training, firearm handling and tactics. A lot of it's going to be launched off of this platform right here. First thing about defensive tactics and drills, you got to have a good foundation to launch your defense from. This includes proper mindset. All right, we started to cover a little bit of that in threat assessment, intervention, and management. As you can see, it's going to take us a little while to get through that course, but also the proper stances in which you have to engage. Okay? Don't have it on shifting sand. We all know that from Sunday school. You got to have it rock solid. It doesn't matter if you're working with firearms or edge weapons, like I was saying. We're going to call these the interview positions. All right? These interview positions are based upon threat level. If it's condition yellow, which is what? What is condition yellow? Alert, but you're relaxed. You're cool.
Yeah.
Okay? This one here, this is orange. It's a form of it. Now, you can cross your arms here if you want to, but do not interlock them. Cross them if you want. Talk to people if you want like that. It's fine. But keep your hands in the upper levels of your workspace. Just in case they launch an attack to hit you, cut you, shoot you, whatever, your hands are already here, and again, reactionary gap in time is going to be enhanced because of your position. Okay? It's part of positioning yourself for success. Once these positions are down, we move to what's called a combat compass. The combat compass is a set of patterns in which you will work all your stepping, evading, deflecting, and that right here is your combat compass. I don't know if some of you guys can see it or not. Sorry about the poles. The combat compass is very, very simple. It's just like anything. Wherever I walk, it's forward. If I go backward, it's reverse or rear, left and right, 90 degrees. And then after that, you only have positive 45s and negative 45s. which are just stepping backwards, okay? Now, one thing I really want you guys to learn right out of the gate is try not to always step back. You won't need help with that. You're not going to need help with that. You're going to do that all intuitively. You will step back. I want to break you of that. Because if there's a train coming down the tracks, are you going to outrun it by running backward? No, eventually you're going to get hit. I wanted to teach you guys to step off the tracks. Step off the X. Okay? If it be at a negative 45 or a positive 45, you get off the X. And I want you guys to start encircling your adversaries. Okay? So if he is the threat, and he starts to come in and does whatever, and you hit and you move, you want to continue to cycle around him. Because why? He might have more people, right?
Right.
Again, target fixation is a bad thing. Who watched the first Jurassic Park? That guy was like, and then all of a sudden that raptor went, whoop, and he's like, you clever girl. Boom, and got him. Don't be trapped. Don't get sucked into that. You have to encircle your adversary, because now I can see all you guys. I can see the stage, all right? Encircle them. Do not walk straight back, because there might be something there that you're not going to like. Okay? Encircle your adversary. That's using your combat compass. Okay? You see the colors here. We have green, we have yellow, and we have red. These are conflict zones. Conflict zones dictate what weapon you will use when it comes to your anatomy, your physical weapons. If they are in the green, guys, due to conflict escalation, if there's conflict escalation, unless it's a supersonic projectile, they have to make and break ground to get close to you as conflict escalates. They will come through these zones. If they go through the green zone, you'll most likely have to launch a leg kick or a technique. A kick, a stall to the knee or shin. Okay? Longest appendage. That's your green zone. The next zone is your yellow zone. That's the next. You'll have to probably put your hand out there. There's soft hand control. Okay? Palm smash them. I don't give a squat. That hurts. That interrupts their thought process. Palm smash them. Eye gouge them. I'll tell you what. Those guys were brilliant.
They were, weren't they?
Oh, the Three Stooges. I mean, these guys. No one really knew how tactical they were. One of the. Laugh all you want. I mean. One of the effective ways of striking, guys, is a principle called the high-low principle. Man, I mean, it was gold, and it still is. It's amazing. You walk to somebody, kick them in the knee, watch what happens with their upper body. You know, oh, hey, thanks. It's the high-low principle. It's a part of effective striking. It's a part of effective striking. And it was there the whole entire time. We laughed at it all the time. Okay? They were brilliant. So, guys, a lot of times in conflict will rarely, believe it or not, stay in the yellow zone. Very rare will it stay in the yellow zone. Unless you're UFC fighting and they know each other, but even then it's like, whoop, and down they go. Okay? Red zone. Red means dead. In a knife fight, guess what? You better be running, or you better be kissing. A lot of people don't understand that. That yellow zone is a major kill zone in edge weapons training. Because they have all the freedom in the world to keep doing the do-loop, and it's all right here. Either you come in and kiss them and completely shut them down the best you can, or you get the heck out of Dodge. Okay? But the red zone is for ground control tactics, joint manipulations, takedowns, elbows, head bunts, knees. All of that is in the red zone. If they got that close, guys, use your combat compass. Keep walking. Stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there. Position yourself for success. Keep walking. A static target's a dead target. If you stay still too long, they're going to capitalize on your position. And then you got to talk to James about the ground control tactics. We're going to have fun, James. We're going to have fun. So you have your conflict zones and you have your combat compass. Guys, know it. There's a difference in knowing and doing. I'm going to be testing you guys every time we do defensive tactics and drills. Step, move, move. 8 basic weapons of the human anatomy. If they're ever going to hit you with the 8 basic weapons, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be, I don't care if they call it the deadly goose of, I don't care. I don't care. They're still going to hit you with the hand. It doesn't matter. Okay? So you got the head, the shoulder, the elbow, the hand, the hip, the knee, the shin, and the feet. Those are the 8 basic weapons of the human anatomy that they will use to hurt you or to subdue you. 8. Don't make it more difficult than what it is. Who's heard of the KISS principle? Keep it simple, Sally. Stupid, whatever you want to use. Okay, I heard it different ways. Keep it simple. 8 basic weapons. Don't make it more difficult than what it is. Those 8 basic weapons are going to follow 9 angles of attack. That's it. 9 angles. That is it. 8 basic weapons, 9 angles. Number 9 is one of the best. Number 9 is straight in. Bop. Coming straight in. If they're going to stab you, if they're going to punch you, eye gouge you, whoop, 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 it doesn't matter. They're going to come in number 9. Okay? So you got to know these angles. We also teach edge weapons, and one of the beautiful things about edge weapons is it goes off the 9 angles. When we get into edge weapons, I'll teach you what's called MCMAP. It's the Marine Corps Martial Art Program. Marine Corps Martial Art Program, when they do edge weapons training, they stand just like this here. Why do you think our palms are facing us?
Keep from getting.
Wrist, mouse.
You got arteries going through.
There we go. There you go. Arteries, ligaments. You have more meat and bone here than if your palms are out.
You're going to bleed out if they get you right there.
All right? When people commit suicide, what do they do?
Your wrist.
Cut your wrist.
On the
Not
inside.
right. That's exactly right. All right? A lot of times, not right. Okay? They try to get what? An artery to bleed out. Don't. Give it to them. The blade is always orientated to your opponent at your hip, as your firearm should be when you pull it out of your weapon system or out of your holster. As soon as you pull it out of the holster, number 1 in the 4-count draw, by the way, is you apply your pistol, your firing grip while it's in the holster. Because once it's out, you better not be doing this number. Okay? You apply the fire grip while it's in the holster. Number 2 position is, guys, guess what? As soon as it clears the holster, whoop, it's like a martial arts stacking a punch. But it's canted out because, guys, we live in Tennessee. It gets hot and cold here. So when you have garments and stuff like that, you don't want nothing to interrupt the firing cycle of your weapon system. If you have a coat, my son, it happened to my son. We used blanks a lot of times during stress inoculation drills. And his garment got caught in the ejector port. It wasn't working. Yeah, that's why you have to pull it up and cant it out so that slide can operate. But look where the muzzle is orientated. Where's the muzzle orientated? Down. So guess what they're going to be in? What zone do you think they're going to be in? What conflict zone? Red.
Red.
Okay? Guys, this is bad juju.
Got him.
I love you. This is bad juju right here.
Yep.
That's why it's also part of weapon retention. You don't want to say, hey, bud, sup? Yeah. You want to keep it back here. Power is here. But not only this, guys, I will correct you every time. When we're out there on the range, 1, 2, 3 comes here, 4 comes out. But the muzzle's orientated the whole entire time, and you can see I have wear marks on my body where my magazine always rides the same spot because I want to keep it close to me for weapon retention. Okay? Here, 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 here. Well, guess what? If I have to fight somebody, my hand can come out here and look where my muzzle's pointed. And don't put your booger hook on the bang bang switch until you're ready to destroy the target, please. Keep your booger hook off the bang bang switch. Remember that. Because let me tell you something, in a perfect world, when we're out there on the static range, when we get done shooting, pop, 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 when we look around, this is the perfect way to do it, because if there's an accidental discharge, it goes in the ground. But let me tell you something about real life. You're going to flag somebody. Keep your booger hook off the bang bang switch. In Special Forces, they have 3 eyes when they go out. They have 4 when it's low light. 1, 2, 3. Everywhere they look, that muzzle's there. Everywhere they look. And you see what I just did? Do you want to do that every time? No. Guys, totality of circumstances mean you have to be smart enough to know when to and when not to. And I've been in enough drills, enough training, enough force on force that transitional spaces like this get you killed. I see Eric, I'm here, he comes around the corner. By the time I get my gun orientated back around to him, I've already been shot twice. Life doesn't flow in perfect harmony all the time. That's why we have to train. Okay? So, just as I was getting back to with the edge weapons, here, the blade is always orientated to your adversary. So if they come in, you can move, and guess what they might get? Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Those are the 9 angles of attack in which the 8 basic weapons will attack you on. Now, there are also 4 points of contacts, 4 point of contact planes. You have the shoulders to the top of the head. That's 1 point of impact plane. Mid plane is from the shoulders to the waist. That's the mid-impact plane. Lower is from the waist to the ground, and the last one is the center. Guys, see the width of your neck? The width of your neck down holds a lot of the vitals. That's why in law enforcement you hear them say, shoot to the center of the largest mass. We don't teach that. We teach shoot to the center of the most available target. Because that might be the gluteus maximus coming around the corner while I'm pointing at these guys in this classroom, and all you see is that, and you identify that he is a shooter, put one in his rear end. Something bit me! But at least you got them off of what they were doing.
Yeah.
Time is life. You just hiccup their process. And then you can capitalize on it, guys. Aim for the center of the most available target. Okay? Point of impact planes, upper. So we have a number 1. Edge weapons, you learn 1 and 2 right out of the gate. 1 and 2. If you strike 1 and 2, guess where it ends? At the hip. Guess where it ends? At the hip. The blade is always orientated where? Toward your adversary. Okay? So we have an upper point of impact plane. Right? Whenever you cut, you want to cut valleys. What are in valleys? Arteries, ligaments, all the channels and stuff to control your appendages are all like in valleys. Whoop, whoop. All right? Valleys everywhere. That's where you mainly want to aim because you incapacitate that appendage. We'll go over hemorrhage control and everything too with tourniquets and stuff like that because guess what? It's also your responsibility to give aid to the individual that you just took down.
That's right.
There's a thought.
There you go.
Who's doing that?
It's my phone.
That was an important message. I must have said that right. Hate to see what I say when I do something wrong. Okay, so we got the upper, right? We got the mid. All this is number 1 angles. Number 1 angles, guys. Point of impact has changed. There was 1. Took out the knee. Open your minds here. Okay? We have number 9. Number 9. Number 9. Still number 9, point of impact plane has changed. Altitude level has changed. 2, you guys get this, right? 5, it doesn't matter. So know the 9 angles of attack, know the point of impact planes, know your combat compass. This is the launching platform over which everything we're going to go through from here on out is going to be based on. You got to know it. Okay? Questions? One more thing. We're going to talk about, and look at all this stuff we get to do. Woo! We're going to talk about also reactionary gap in time. Law enforcement personnel. Reactionary. Oh!
No, you don't understand.
What is it? You don't understand. I hear that a lot from my wife majority of the time. I'm serious.
I can just see those things.
You know she does.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so reactionary gap in time. Reactionary gap is, oh, I'm going to use Jason again. Get your phone down. Stop looking at that thing. Reactionary gap is based upon your level of training and how long it takes for you to see a threat and then counteract the threat or intervene with the threat. Your surprise is right more than not. I do this all the time when I used to teach the CCW class and all this other stuff. Is you heard the 21-foot rule, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I allow them to conceal because I always promote the conceal. I really don't like open carry, but each to their own. And I'm like, okay, you ready? I want you to pull that. The great thing is I'm going to let you see I have a knife. Because, we all know out there in the street, they're not going to let you see a daggone thing. Okay? But I'm going to give you that glorified advantage. Okay, now I'm going to give you that advantage. Do you have your weapon system on? All clear? Okay. He has to pull his weapon system out. I'm not going to let him use his conflict zone, his combat compass. You're going to have to stand still. No, not this time. All you got to do is pull your weapon system out, point and shoot. It's that simple, right?
Yeah.
You ready?
Wherever you are.
Don't knock the TV over and everything.
Yeah.
Okay?
You're the one who's going to tackle
You
this.
better believe that. It ain't my TV. You ready? As soon as I move.
I'll still hit it.
And he's been working with me. 4-count draw. Okay? And that is when I gave him the luxury of knowing I had one. How many times have you guys seen that on YouTube? And they're still coming. Never quit the fight. Don't think your bullets are going to stop them. You keep going until they're what?
Dang.
Incapacitated.
No longer a threat.
No longer a threat. Because guys, I'm telling you, your performances are going to go unless you train. You never rise to the occasion, you default. All right, let's go ahead and pair up real quick. I want everybody to be in here where we have space. I'll get up on the stage, and we'll go over some of these attempt attacks. We're going to start with empty hand. We're going to start with empty hand, and then we're going to go to edge weapons, and then we're going to go to firearms. Okay? So team up. Find somebody you like to hit. This is the time. Don't make physical contact. Remember, conflict escalation starts at what? A distance. All right? They got to break through the conflict zones to touch you. They need their hands, unless it's a supersonic projectile, they need their hands to hurt you. The 8 basic weapons we just went over, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to defend ourselves from all attempt attacks first. That means they have not made contact. All right? So guys, we need to understand our interview positions. when we start the program, when we start the exercise, we need to have our strong side back. Why? Unless you're carrying appendix, right, which I love. A lot of times the firearm's on your strong side, right? So you want to step back to keep that further away from your adversary. Our hands? All right, so a lot of people are already there. You can start at orange or you can start at yellow. The hands are here. Act like you're talking with them. But then they're going to make that crucial mistake and try to hurt you or control you. The first thing we're going to look at is a one-hand clinch to the back of the head. All right? I'm going to clinch in and I'm going to wrap my head around the back of his cervical vertebrae and the back of his head. I'm going to drop my elbow into his chest so I can try to control him the best I can. Right? That's why they clinch. Why this idiot's only going to do one hand, I have no clue. Maybe he's wanting to hit you or stab you or whatever. It doesn't matter. But we're not going to let him get this far. It's an attempt. So he's here talking with me with his hands in his workspace. And if I come here, I'm going to, again, I do not want to see anybody do this fast. Fast is sloppy. Slow. Accurate. Go slow. Guys, welcome to warrior science. Warrior science is something that each individual has to take on themselves to understand their limitations and their capabilities of what can maximize their efficiency. What works for me might not work for him. I'll help you the best I can when I get over to you, but you guys have to analyze. You have to slow down and see from my height, from my stature, from my age, all that. That's called totality of circumstances. You have to find what works best for you. So we're standing here, his hands is up in his workspace, and you can already see my posture and my mannerisms are going to change. So as I start to reach, I will stop right here, and I will give him an opportunity to think. To think about what don't laugh, what he's going to do. Stop it. All right, so I'm going to be here. He's already going to take me down. I can see his hands like low, knees, take down, shoulder to the. So I'm going to stop right here. This is an attempt. This is going to give him a chance to analyze the target, his combat compass. I've already broken through his green zone. Now I'm in his yellow zone, correct? Because I'm in a what?
Arm length.
Arm length. So I will stop here, and he will do whatever you want, nice and slow to show him.
Okay.
Think of anything you want,
Anything?
and slow.
Okay. Boom.
Oh,
Then come in.
oh,
Don't drop
I
the
love
gun.
you. And he will take me down, I'm sure. And he will try to subdue me at that point. Ground control tactics, passive aggressiveness techniques are very vital. It will protect you in a lawsuit. And guys, guess what? It's hard enough to learn these techniques, but then when you have to add talking to the individual, settle down, calm down, calm down, calm down, because everyone's videoing.
Stop resisting.
Stop resisting. All right? So we're going to do that a little bit more, guys. And once you find something like he just did, where are your hands at, brother?
I'm just let you talk.
Okay, and then we'll talk to me. Because again, reactionary gap in time, his gap is relative to his training and the time that he responds. That's reactionary gap in time. Oh. That was called a break fall, by the way. You guys didn't see that.
Oh, keyboard exploding.
Okay?
One of the big stables is.
Now, I don't want him to stop right there. One of the secrets of effective striking, guys, is if you strike hard, strike fast, strike often. A minimum of 3. And remember, high, low, high, low. Okay? As you saw, his first thing he did was block and elbow. Tried to do it all at the same time. Pop! I move forward on my combat compass. He clinches me. Go ahead. Have one.
How you want it?
All right. Pop. That was his 1. He made the mistake. I got him. All right. Pop. After that, if he shuffles down, it takes down, right? He took me down. I don't want him to stop there because he blocked. That's 1. All right. At least 3. Come on. It's okay. Get me down. All right. Now what?
For me?
Yep.
Now what?
All right, I've done jiu-jitsu too, so when I tap, that means we're done. Anytime you guys find yourself in a lock or anything, or something that doesn't feel good, tap them. Watch where you tap. If your hands are bound,
Or you could just yell out, tap.
by that time it's probably too late. So that's what I want you guys to do. Break it down, a minimum of 3. Know your limitations, guys. Enjoy this. And we'll get around to you the best we can. I'll need your help as well. Eric, where you at?
He's next mistake.
I need your help as well. Come up with different techniques. The reason I'm calling these guys, I know they're martial artists as well, and they're also in law enforcement. I might bring you in later, okay? But let's work together as a team. Let somebody do something first, a minimum of 3. Once they've done it, they have already come up with the, go ahead and clinch. Once they've already come up with this, pop, pop, pop. Okay, let them try. Let's try twice. Stay with the original technique. Stay with the original. All right. Stay with the original. Pop. Slow down. Boom. Pop. 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 Back. All right. Grab. Then you can slowly start speeding up. But you guys, if you do it slow, you find the mechanics. Look at how I am. Where's my jaw? Tucked down. It's protected. My whole entire side in which he was going to grab. Right? I lowered my what? Center. I lunged off my back leg for what? Power. As I'm here, I already got another weapon here. I'm going to what? Move my center. You guys got to understand the mechanics of it. He comes into clinch. Step in. Rock it. Here. Rock. Precision in what you are hitting matters. I hit the body. My foot's a part of the body. Why are you hitting it? Pop. Pop. That's good. Go slow. Don't hurt each other. Attempt to clinch. Let's work. Figure out who's going to be the attacker, who's going to be the defender. This slight, do not touch them yet. Stop right here. Here, James, let's help him out. Work with them. Okay? I attempt, he hits, I move. See how I kind of shuffle backward. Stay on it. That's what these small shuffles are for. Stay on it. Grab, seize and control. As he blocks and hits, make sure to have them grab as they block. All right? Shrug, grab, seize and control. They make the mistake. Don't let them go. Don't let her go. They can hurt somebody else. Remember, fight, flight, or stay. You're committed. Stay. Grab them. Grab a hold, because if he doesn't and he rocks me back, here I go. Keep him in control. All right, let's go. Let's get to work. Here, grab hold of him. I don't care if you grab the back of his shirt. They made that. I want to see a lot of that seize and control and move them in to help.
And that's what I was asking him, because when he first come in with it, like that, natural, what I was going to do when I grabbed with this hook is catch him.
Awesome.
And hip toss him.
Yeah.
And just to get on the ground just to stop.
No, you're absolutely
You already
right.
have him locked.
Now, but the only thing I would say is do some kind of preparatory action to loosen him up before you go for that takedown. Because a lot of times that takedown, the reversal for that takedown is the exact same. As soon as it goes to that hip toss, you just straighten up.
Lean back.
Exactly. That's the reversal for that, is the exact same technique. So when you do come in, right here, you can palm smash, then grab, then step through, because I'm at least, my radar's offline for a second. That gives you that opportunity to seize the moment and take down. If you want to try it, it's nice and slow. Pop, pop,
Well,
Even if you need me, I don't care, need me in the abdomen or whatever you want, oh, there you go. Then you step through. Just like you did. That upper palm was great because it's still making you way through. And then boom. And not only that, go on that arm, you got that, you have the arm bar right here. Good. And even here, you don't even have to get down. This is already a good hold from right there on your knee. Snap.
Yep.
Awesome, brother. All right, so yeah.
Make it do a split.
After this. Now, see, now right here, if I did not shake him, yes, he can take me down easy. But that's the reason why we have to do this, and then maybe this. You gotta line them up, shake them. Yes, exactly. Okay, now, yes, chicken wing and then escort. But a lot of times, if they're going to fight, good luck trying to get a wrist lock.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because in hot keto and all that, we're like, all right, someone grabs, and we try to do all this stuff. I was like, no, wait. No one's just going to let you grab that and do that. So whenever they do grab and you do want to do something like that, you're going to have to stun them. And then after that, then you grab, then you break. The phalanges are gone, you know. But again, you have to prep it. You just can't go in unless you're so quick. Again, action's quicker than reaction, right?
Yes.
So action's quicker than reaction. If you have that reactionary gap and time to deploy something effectively, then do it. But a lot of times you want to, hey, look, a distraction, and then do it. You know, even if it's a whoop, or it's a, there you go, yeah. Watch it. What the? Okay, so yeah. So guys, yes, work on preparatory action. So even if he comes in with that clinch, again, this here helps dramatically. If you get that elbow into that bicep and you hit that nerve, you can feel that radiate down to the end of your pinky and everything. So get this thing up, protect yourself, and then move it if you want. Move here. It's warrior science. Pick an avenue. Pick what you want. But open your mind up. I don't want you just to be thinking busting skull in. I want you to think of something effective, quick. Yeah. See what I did? Yeah. That's what you have to do, though. But you got to do it slow. And he was doing it slow for my sake. Because if he wanted to, I'm sure I would have been launched. Yeah, to take me down. But what this slow...
Doing it step by step.
Yes, but what this slow process does is give you an opportunity to think, okay, I can stop by doing this. It gives you an opportunity to think of things you never thought. You have to let things expose themselves, like targets of opportunity. You have to let things come to light, but do it slow, but do it effectively. What's that? Don't look away. Okay?
Because that'll get you punched every time.
And another thing that, believe it or not, what I've also been taught, not only look at eye contact, and I've been doing a lot of different stuff, what I've also done is look almost about 10 degrees off side to side. Why? Because, again, in stress, you also suffer from tunnel vision. You have to break it because you don't know, again, where his buddies are. You guys will get to a point where you can shoot without looking at the target. Pop, pop, pop. Because, again, in low light, you're not going to be directly looking at the target anyway. Unless you have a night vision or you have some type of optics. But a lot of times in low light, you have to look about 10 degrees up, left to right, and you can come in and aim. So it's the same thing as when you're fighting, is that you don't want to target fixate, right? But when you're talking to him, you're going to be like this. Occasionally look up at him, because you don't want to be like a freak. But you also know his friend over here where he's positioned. Okay? So again, guys, as he comes up, don't let him make contact. I will stop here. He will think of something. Remember to try to raise that shoulder up to protect that jawline. And then I'll stop. Okay? And then you just go ahead and block. This hand should already be up in your workspace, right? Okay? So now this stopped me, prevented me from getting the back of his head. But now he has all this stuff he can work with right out of the gate. Pop. Just a real shuck. Just shuck it. Boom. And after that, I'm going to collapse a tad bit. And this is something you all have to learn is to play into the scenario. Okay? Because your target's going to constantly move. And you got to seize and control the target. An exercise is coming where I'll tell you your target is going to be the nose and that's it. Okay? That's all you're allowed to do. And you have to destroy that target 100% before you can move to the next. So if I'm standing here, I'm like, okay, your target's the nose. Pop! Oh, target's the nose. Uh-huh. A nose. Ah! Target's the nose. I'm just slamming into the ground. Like, pow! You know?
Yeah, well.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what the reason why we have those type of techniques is because it makes you think to seize and control, maneuver your target to get to it. You see what I'm saying? And that's a lot. Oh, absolutely. On the ground. Yeah, absolutely right. And this is also totality of circumstances. The reason I teach totality of circumstances is we have to break it down to know when we will and when we won't. There will be a lot of stuff I'll teach you can't use in the force. Okay, but there are going to be things we know. So that's just the way of the beast. Know when to, know when not to. Yeah, and that, yeah, and in jiu-jitsu, it's like, oh, all right, I'm on my back. Who cares? Yeah. All right, so let's work it. See what we got. Clinch, attempt to clinch. At least 3. Rock, get that shoulder up. Watch your footwork as well. See what's protecting your ability to think and not get disorientated during combat, okay? So if he comes and just grabs, again, so go ahead and clinch my neck, boom. As this comes up, guys, if you step in, that elbow can actually do great damage to that because you're stepping in, you're not just standing still. We're already here talking.
One of the things that I was always taught, come at me like that, see, I was always taught to go this number.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
To get them down and out and about.
Yes.
I wasn't taught to go in like you're doing more than bringing them in.
Absolutely. Now, and then again, totality of circumstances is going to dictate everything you do or don't do. It should. I mean, if the opportunity comes up to where his head's going down to that level and you can take and seize and control it, do so. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to give you that opportunity. But sometimes what we have to deal with is also another realm of weapons and guns and knives and multiples and stuff like that. You always have to do the best you can to situate yourself for success. So even if you just do a clinch, kind of like that there. We're already here. Now I'm already ducked and I can just see his center line. Okay? Remember your 9 angles of attack. And then you can have to break down physiologically what targets.
Best way to go to
what targets are the
easiest
so
way.
he comes up, go ahead. Here, we can hit here, we can even hit here. But look what I'm doing.
Right.
Did you ever see a raccoon eat? He rarely looks at the food. He's just like, what's going to get me? What's going to get me? So you're going to do the exact same thing as he comes in to grab me. I want to come in here. As I'm hitting, I'm still going to seize and control him. Now, I did the reverse. He went to clinch, and I clinched him. As I'm clinching him, this even hurts. Just come up with the elbow. It's coming down here. Even if you palm smash his groin, here, palm smash him, guess what he's going to do? Boop, 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 boop. They're going to come down forward. Just
You're going to
bring
make some kind of motion.
Bring that up just to check him, to clear him. And a lot of times that takes energy away from him. Because their mouth's open or something, and now they got their jaw rocked and they might have hit their tongue.
That oxygen, whatever.
Yeah, it's just a check, but people don't think of stuff that's right there.
Right.
They just want to,
Keep on going.
and it can be done that quick. Okay? So when he comes in and clinch, boom here, pop, pop. After that, guys, you can.
I also showed them off of this one after that was done. No, when you clinched. When you came at me, I know you know how to block that.
No, I'm gonna let you.
All right, come like that.
Yeah.
If I was here and you was here and I did this,
Yep.
I also showed them this.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's the thing about warrior science. That we try to promote in this training is a progressiveness of consistency. So with our interview positions and things like that, we already know condition yellow and condition orange, right? Condition red is when you're in direct action. Condition red, you can go from yellow to red in a heartbeat, okay? So if you're standing here, condition red is here. As you can see, when I drop my body, my shoulders pretty much stay the same height. My body is what drops, my shoulders stay. Because again, it's a natural ability to protect your spine, protect your jaw, protect your head. That's why when there's an explosion, you cover. Cover your central nervous system, cover your brain that's making those cognitive decisions to protect yourself, okay? So condition red, you're already here, boom, get here. Widen your stance up, your shoulders are up, your body is what? Square to your target. It is not bladed. Get out of that. Get out of that blading. Get out of it. unless totality of circumstances dictates because of cover or something other reason why you have the blade. But other than that, you stay square to your target. And what I do is I raise my shoulders up, but I also bring them forward, guys. They articulate. It hollows out my chest. It brings everything that is going to defend myself closer to a center state. All right? It's easy to pick targets out here. I'm opening up to them. But if I pull my shoulders up and roll them forward, it brings my defensive measures into my center, which now they have to get by to cause organ damage. You see what I'm saying? But guys, please understand something. This is going to promote us when we get on the range. This is going to promote us to where the natural intuitive response to you guys is going to be this, where if you guys are normally doing this on the range, or whatever, all that's going to go. All of it's going to go. Because what's going to happen is we're in condition red here with our fighting stance. It's calm down, calm down. Look at where my V's are in my hands. These V's, you see them? And they're almost aligned, right? Guess what you can do? If Eric went out there and got his AR platform and put it right into my hands, guess where it's at?
Same place.
It's in the exact same place as if we would run our AR. Exact same place. Our shoulders are already up. Our shoulders are rocked in because, again, the stock sits right here. And if you lose or incapacitate the support hand, now you have your cheek weld and it's pinching against what? Your shoulder. If someone comes up and grabs your stock, they can't move it. It's stability of the weapon system. And you've been doing it the whole entire time. It could be empty hands, it could be edge weapons. And guys, when we get to the firing range and we're doing our pistols, guess what? It's going to be the same thing. Our sights go to our eyes do not go to the sights. You're not going to hold it to this side, you're going to start bringing your weapon system to the center of the body. Where once everything is centered, all right, if Eric or James just stands here and makes a noise, I'll close my eyes. Go ahead, James, come over here. I'll walk around, and if he keeps talking, making consistent noise, go ahead. All right? Look at that. Now I open my eyes. I did not even see him. What happened was I orientated to him because my body has a natural, new, cultivated, intuitive response where I didn't even need a sight picture. He made noise. I presented myself the same way as I would present all of my targets, and I would have hit him without even looking at it. That's natural zero. That's what's going to help you in a situation to where when stress is so high and your cognitive abilities go out the window, you'll naturally go to that point. Okay? It's coming. There's always reasons why we try to promote you guys from the start, even if it's empty hand. Because what this is not as aggressive as this. This is your calming down. Man, relax. Listen to me. But you're completely covered, people. All right? Whoa, 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 whoa. Your elbows are in. And you guys, you're setting up your own platform for when we get on our primaries. You're already set. Okay? So what time we got?
It is 6 o'clock.
All right. That's class, guys. I know, I apologize if I couldn't get around to everybody, but these defensive tactics and drills are also made for you to think. This isn't a martial art class. Occasionally, you guys, I'll have you line up and we'll practice a few hand techniques and kicks and stuff like that, but I want you guys to think as operators at the level at which you are right now. When was the last time you sat there and thought, okay, good glitch. Shoot, what would I do? When was the last time you did that? Never. Never. This is your opportunity. Yeah, this is your time to start thinking. Okay? So if someone comes in and they grab me on the side and I just don't move, that's what's going to happen though in real life. The other individual most likely is going to knock me over. So again, guys, we're going to go back to condition red interview position. Everything drops. He comes in, everything drops. I'm covering, people. That's what I look like. Look at my stance. I'm here and I'm coming in. Guys, it's like a big wave on the ocean. The ocean's coming in and you're just standing there. and you're going to take in all the ocean water in your lungs. Guys, you got to lean in as it comes in. Right? Lean into them. Again, make them regret they ever made that decision.
Amen.
We're Christians, but we're not pushovers. You know?
Warriors.
To ask King David what he did. That would be something. I'd be like a little kid. Daddy! No, seriously, guys, we got to get the right mindset. Mindset's everything. Okay? I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to come out. I hope you did enjoy it. If you learned one thing and you had a good time,
That's good then.
my job's done. Okay? But I hope every time we get together, you guys don't forget why we're here. Don't forget, I'm going to do the best I can to make this entertaining, make this fun, and energetic. Because, guys, that's another reason why you came, is to become sharper at every aspect. Also to communicate, to enjoy each other's company. This is part of fellowship too. Okay? I'm right here with you. With along Jason's side and Brian's side. Guys, anytime for spiritual conversation you want. Guys, I used to teach Christian philosophy all the time with this. Because why? It's important. It's the integral center of a warrior. King David's my hero. I mean, I always read the Psalms and I go back and read a story from a shepherd all the way to a king and then reject it. And what? Because I feel like that a lot. What did he do? I'll follow because it's tried and true. So guys, we all have problems. We all have things we have to face. And definitely if we're in the security world together, there's going to be some things we don't want to do, say things we don't want to say, intervene with things we don't want to intervene with. But guys, we got each other.
That's right.
Huh?